You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lain. Gardening it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. So, I've done quite a bit of gardening this week. I just like it's therapy for me. I disconnect, put my phone down. I actually lose track of time. It's dinner time. Lisa's calling me in. I'm going, I just totally lost it. Whereas when I'm behind this screen or I've got my phone near me, it's like accentuates time, like makes it longer and longer. Oh my gosh. So when I have a stressful day, I go garden. This week's been not stressful, but I've been gardening. I found quite a few bugs. Thought I'd express some of those. And it is definitely time to fertilize. Thought I'd go over what's the best approach for that, taking advantage of the rains and this next growing season that's in front of us. First of all, as you're walking through your gardens, and you should, if you see any holes, that's not good. You've got problems. If you see curled leaves, you've got problems. If you see a beautiful hanging basket and no flowers, that's a problem. So these are all signs you've got some insect issues. And so don't let it go. Don't let nature just take. This is a wild place, and we are gardeners that are here to tame it. So we're there to make sure this wild rose of Sharon grows up and just is glorious. Like it can never grow that way in the wild. It can only do this under the hands of a gardener. A smoke bush is beautiful purple foliage, and the flowers hovering above it. It looks like it's on fire. It's glorious, but its natural state is hideous, overgrown, taking over. I mean, small dogs and children have been lost in smoke bush. You got to give it a gardener's touch. Well, the same goes for the wild insects, the things that are eating the wildlife that are coming at you. You want to garden with these, and that's controlling some of that, controlling its environment so these wild plants can thrive. And so what I've noticed quite a bit right now, especially on the lower plants, I'm seeing holes in yarrows, seen holes in a butterfly bush, just little holes. I'm going, I don't see any bugs. Usually that's either one of two things. One is grasshoppers, but usually that'll be all over the plant, not just down low. Or it is snails and slugs. Snails and slugs, this is their time to slime. Sorry, couldn't resist that one. Their time to shine. They kind of go off and they slime everything. And so they come out at night because they know they're bird bait. They're not going to be even close to seen during the day unless you really look underneath the foliage looking for them. But they're thinking like a bird. Don't be out where the birds are. Hide back here. But they come out by the dozens and dozens, and they eat holes in your foliage. And you can't tell where they came from. You don't see any living thing. That's super, super easy to control snails and slugs. Very specialized product. They're attracted to bait. Now, be careful what kind of bait, especially if you have small animals, you like birds or other living things in your backyard. Don't put synthetic or man-made or chemical slime control. There are organic that really are much, much safer, especially if you've got cats or dogs. They're much safer snail and slug baits. And that's all we sell here at Watertown. I'm an organic gardener. If I would not put that out in my yard, I'm not going to sell it to you. It's ridiculous. That's like two-faced. That's hypocritical. We're not going to do that. We're not selling things that just to sell them. We're selling things that actually work. And then I'm an organic gardener. I want you to be. I think this is something we should stand up for because we're all groundwater. I can go on and on about this, but organic. Go with organic bug control. Now, for grasshoppers, they've been bad. I think I've got mine under control, but I did spread a non-organic. Okay, I got it. I'm hypocritical, but there's nothing else that takes them out. There's nothing else that works. So sometimes you got to break out the little bit bigger guns. And so there for the grasshoppers, the crickets, the earwigs, the things that are growing there, the bigger things are centipedes, like those big, long, scary looking ones. Those are all taken out with one product. You spread it like fertilizer as a barrier out there around the outer edges of your property, at the fence line, down the driveways, out in the front raised beds. Turf ranger, like turf, like grass, turf, lawn, turf ranger. That is I've never found anything better than that at taking out these summer pests that come at you in such waves. Terrible. I mean, they obliterate entire areas. They'll take out an entire shrub, your vegetable garden, if they get in there. So Turf Ranger is my go-to for the ground is moving, the grasshoppers are coming. What do I do? Turf Ranger is my thing. So look for bugs. Just look for bugs. I've seen those two things very prevalent this time of year. I did notice 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, it's been a while, I had some spider mites on my junipers, and I caught it on film. It was beautiful. Thought I could share this with my social media folks. If you're a follower, you'll know what to do and what to look for. And so I found if there's any webbing, especially on your evergreens, that's going to be one thing, and it's not a spider. If it's webbing, you don't see a spider. It's a tiny mite that scrapes all the tissue off of all living tissue off of this plant, and it dies a pain, excruciating way. But it's super easy. I used spinosad soap. It's a good organic, again, organic. Took them right, one application, took them right out. They didn't even try to come back. And the plant is more beautiful than ever. So those are some key things I've seen just recently. The number one thing you can do right now is take advantage. Your ground has no redeeming value. There's nothing living. You'll be hard pressed to find a worm. You're going to find no nutrients. No, the pH has crept up to almost toxic levels. So you really right now, I can't emphasize this enough. I get you off the sofa right now, get in the car and drive across town right now. I would do that, but I can't. It's just a radio show, just a podcast, but I wish I could. Fertilize. And again, fertilizer, don't use synthetic fertilizers. They flush with the next rainstorm, they're gone, and they just go downstream to the water table. It's dangerous stuff. We want to use up here in the mountains, we're all drinking groundwater. We want to use organic fertilizers. This is important, but it's also healthier for your plants. Organics break down much slower over a longer period of time. And so the plants can now take a little bit of food over the next 3-4 months. They just slowly feed it, greens them right up. So my 744 all-purpose plant food, the main ingredient is cottonseed meal. Number 2 main ingredient is bird guano. You put those two things on anything, they're going to green up and grow better. If your plants are stressed, you're seeing it's yellowing. It's got burned leaves. It's turning brown. Just isn't growing. It's brand new. You just have a new landscape. Put also, in addition, at the same time, I don't care which one goes down first, put the all-purpose plant food down, 744, and put down humic. Humic is humic acid. So what is humic acid? We're getting deep into gardening here. This is technical. But if you were to take a compost pile and just break it down to its last remaining element, what you would end up with is humic acid. And so we actually make this. It looks like coffee grounds in a bag. Really, it looks like coffee grounds. Doesn't taste like coffee grounds. Don't ask me what it tastes like. I've never tasted it, but it looks like coffee grounds, but it works way better. And here's why the two work so well and why you want to use them right like now, like July. But by the end of the month, you need to get this on. It's important. One, the all-purpose plant food feeds all the top growth. So more foliage, if you got dented, curled, things are just not as crisp and vibrant as they need to be, it's going to help that grow. If you've been blooming and now you're not blooming, as roses or whatever, cottonseed meal is like the best stuff ever for anything that blooms. It's going to get it to set another set of blooms. If you were to deadhead your roses, put all-purpose plant food on it, it will be in bloom in 3 weeks. Full, glorious, beautiful blooms. So that's what the fertilizer does. It feeds the plant. What the humic acid does is the total opposite. It feeds the soil. And so if you want to bring in more worms, you want to make sure where the plant goes, wow, something's going on with the soil. It's so alive. I just want to root some more. It increases root growth. So if you have stressed out plants, you need more roots. If you have new plants, you need more roots. If you need humic acid, feeds the soil so that you get more roots. The all-purpose plant food feeds the top growth so you get better plants, and you use them in conjunction, and you need to use them right away.
Waters Garden companion plants for July are hibiscus, maple, crepe myrtle, and purple verbena.
Purple verbena is mountain famous for gorgeous summer-long flowers held over compact green foliage.
This purple bloomer loves bright gardens, summer heat, and grows best in poor soils with less water.
Go ahead and abuse this bloomer. You can't kill it.
The perfect native perennial for easy summer long flowers.
You'll only find the toughest verbena here at Waters Garden Center, 1815 Iron Springs Road in Prescott. For a more fruitful garden, increase success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit watersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Waters Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.